Welcome to this episode of the Gunman. In this video I'll be taking you through the paintwork on this Dodge Journey. The colour is called white, that's all it's called. It's done in base coat and clear coat over the top, and the paint code is W3. So we've done all the prep work on this job already, then taken it in the booth, masked it up, then wiped it all down with a wax and grease removing solvent, and then I've just wiped that yellow tack cloth over the whole panel at the same time as using the air from the spray gun. So on my first coat I'm just putting a quick coat over over the burn throughs or the cut throughs, and there was a couple of stone chips and things like that I was fixing on the bonnet, and I did that bumper bar too, but I left the footage out just to stop the video from getting too long. We're also doing the fender too. So first coat, you can see it covers up quite well. I decided to put 3 coats on the car and 3 coats on the bumper bar of the colour, followed by 2 coats of clear coat. I'm using Crystal Clear Pro on this job, which is, as it says in the name, it's quite clear. It's not like some of the Glazeric clears and some of the other clears that you can get are actually quite yellow, have a very yellow tinge to them. So I actually decided that I could blend the passenger side fender, so I didn't actually put my colour right up there, and the colour still looks good. We've got a clip of the car once it's all finished off, and you can see how the colour turned out. Obviously the driver's side fender, we put colour over the whole thing because it's a new fender. So this is our second coat of base coat. We're just putting it over the whole panel, the whole bonnet, because you may have a fingerprint or any little bit of something on top of the panel that you may want to cover up. It turned out there was 1 or 2 little stone chips, but I prefer to put on a bonnet colour over the whole panel. I don't usually like to blend bonnets. Some people do it, but it's not something I like to do very often. It's easy to see a blend on a bonnet because there's such a big flat surface, whereas you can hide it on things like fenders and doors, stuff like that. So yeah, that's our first two coats of base coat on, and then go and put our last coat of base coat on. Just always inspect your panels. If you've got too much dust on there, then just give it a couple of minutes to dry out. You can then go out and grab a bit of 800 grit sandpaper or something. You can give that, or even 1200, and give them just a light denib back, and continue painting. So if you find that you're getting lots of dust in your jobs, it's mainly going to be caused from prep work. Either you haven't blown it off enough, you've got dust landing in your masking if you've got a very dusty environment, and there's guys that are standing next to you when you're masking up. That can be a contributing factor. If you're not filtering your paint, you're not using gun filters, or there's many things that can contribute to it. So you just do your best to try and eliminate them. Like even just little things like your airline, you can try wiping that down. You see the airlines reaching over the bonnet. If there's bits of dust and a flaky old paint on that airline, then it can drop into the panel. Even stuff coming off you. Yeah, so most of my jobs come out pretty clean because I've just got a system that I follow every job, and it seems to get the results. So yeah, so this is our last coat of base coat. I'm getting it on nice and heavy. Being that it's just a solid colour, there's no real need to turn the pressure up too high because you're not looking for any effect. You can pretty much see that pretty much all the paint that coming out of the gun is just hitting the panel straight away. There's no big clouds of overspray, so that's good efficiency. It means that I'm using all of the paint on where I want the paint to be. Obviously there's a little bit of overspray that's going to happen, but so I'm using the DeVilbiss GTI Pro with the HVLP Air Cap on it for this job, which is my favourite gun. Now you can see we're blending over that fender. I actually turn the pressure up a touch. If you've got it too low, then the paint that hits the panel is going to be, the blobs are going to be too big. That's probably the easiest way I can explain it, but it's going to come out a bit finer. when you get the pressure turned up. So here we go on the fender. Give the last coat, the base coat for this one too, just a nice wet one to make sure it's all covered up. So when I'm painting solid colour base coat, I personally like to leave it a bit thicker. It says 2 to 1, obviously is what you're meant to do, but I like to leave it a touch thicker. It just means it's going to cover up better because you haven't put so much reducer in it, which reducer is obviously going to thin it down, and you're going to lose coverage with the more reducer in it. So I'll be using the same gun on my clear coat. Same setup of a gun. It's a dedicated clear gun that I've got, but same settings. So if you like to see some videos on the prep work, I've also got other videos more detailed about the prep work and how to prime up, and got videos on colour matching and seam sealing and just different things in the automotive smash repair industry. So I'm uploading a couple, I think I did 5 this week, so I'll do them as many as I can as I get the time to video. And I've decided I'm actually going to respray my own car, and I'm going to do it up to look like a race car. So that's something that we'll be making some footage of soon. Got to do some rust repairs on that, and then obviously some custom paint work. So I'm looking forward to doing it myself. I'm going to put some body kits on it, so I'll make some footage of myself installing the body kits and doing all the paint work and the rust repairs and all that kind of stuff. So that's something to keep an eye out for. So now we're up to our first coat of clear coat. As I said, I was using the Crystal Clear Pro. It's very clear, 3 to 1 ratio, and then 10% reducer. So this was actually a couple of months ago I painted this car. I'm only just getting around to editing it. It was pretty warm when I was painting this. It was about 35 degrees, and I probably only went about with 5% reducer, because the hotter it is, well then the clear is going to thin itself out just from the heat. They're not going to need as much reducer. Whereas in the colder months you might want to use the full 10%. So it's all something that you got to do by just by feel. You can actually get a viscosity cup if you want to get it 100% right. Not many people use them. I've never really actually seen anyone use them before. They teach you how to use it at trade school, but that's about it. So settings on this gun for clear coat. On this job I was using the fluid wound right out and the fan right open and pressure up to 2 bar. As it turns out now, it's starting to cool down. If I use those same settings on a day like what it is today, when it's about 20 degrees maximum, I'd end up with runs all over the place and it'd just be a big mess. So these days I've been winding the fluid in a bit, about 2.5 to 3 turns out, depending on the job, and change the air cap to suit the orange peel that you want. It's got a nice, this Dodge Journey has got a pretty nice wet, quite a European looking orange peel on it actually, so that's why I decided to use the HVLP, just so I can get a lot of material on there, get the nice wet finish on it. Some of the Mazdas, they've got, and the Mitsubishis and stuff like that, they've just got, it looks like they've just put 1 coat of clear over it, and it sounds like they've put 1 coat of clear on it too. As soon as you're sanding your blend down, you can break through their clear coat really easy, and it's just very fine orange peel. So I would change over to the Transtech cap for this gun, the conventional cap, the T2. But depending on which spray gun you're using, they're going to have different caps. So I've got some other reviews and demos on some other guns I've had the chance to use. At the end here we've got the Jet RP, I think it was, and I've also got another one, how to clear coat with this same spray gun, using this clear as well. I've also got some Jets and NSI water guns. There's actually a brand new NSI water coming out, my paint rep tells me, and in the next couple of weeks he's going to lend it to me for a few vids for a couple of days, so that's something we can look forward to. Not too long away to be getting that video up. So second coat, you'll probably notice I'm slowing down a little bit. Same settings, but just going a little bit slower as to get it on nice and wet. I added in the footage of the bumper bar for the last coat as well. I left most of the footage out for the base coat and the first coat of clear just to stop the vid from getting too long. So pretty happy with how this job came up. I used the Standox spectrophotometer to colour match it, and most of the time you get really good results when you're doing solid colours. Solid colours like this, I would actually just do an open search. I don't even type in the manufacturer name. I just type in whether or not I want it in base coat or VOC top coat and do a search that way. Sometimes you can end up painting a Mercedes with a General Motors or a Ford colour and vice versa. So I think this was an Audi colour that ended up actually going on this. Well, that's what they called it. They found that that was a better match than what the actual Dodge colour was. So usually get quite good results with solid colours, and if I was to use a Standox spectrophotometer on a metallic, I would always type in the correct manufacturer, because I've found if you don't, the Spectro thinks that they've found a better match, but they won't match the exact metallics in it correctly. So sometimes you'll end up thinking you're going to mix a good colour up and then having a couple of 100 mils of waste, which is no good. After then remix it up at the correct colour. So I've actually heard that they're bringing out a new spectrophotometer soon. That the one that we use now has 3 cameras in it, so it catches the face and the flip and the flop of the colour, and the new one's actually going to have 5 cameras inside there, so we can get hopefully a better reading on some of the metallics and the pearlescent colours. So hopefully they'll send one of them out when they come in. Something to look out for. Forward to, hopefully. So that's the job finished off. We've then given it approximately 5 minutes before I bake it. I don't like to press bake straight away because sometimes it can end up running. Putting the heat onto it straight away can end up making it run. This is the car, mainly back together. Just had a couple of indicators and the washer jets to put back in. We like to leave them out before we polish it, so the colour looks quite good. That side was a blend. And over here on the driver's side is where we went edge to edge. So, and is a quick look at the badges. The Dodge Journey SXT. So check these vids out if you haven't already. Click that subscribe button to keep up to date with all my latest. Thanks again for watching, and this has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.